Welcome to Hands-on IT, video 29. We're going to discuss two-way force trust. What is force trust? It's the ability for both domains participating in the trust to exchange authentication. So you can be authenticated in a two-way trust relationship. You as a user from any domain can be authenticated to in the other domain or in any other domain. Well, I'm just going to test it in a few minutes, but first thing you do in the trust, you have to set up DNS on both sides, both forests, root domains of both forests, so they can see each other. They cannot trust each other if they're not able to resolve each other's names, if they're not able to see each other. So this is what conditional forwarders are for. You log into each domain controller of each root domain of each forest, go into the DNS, and enter the information of the other domain. My first domain is nesium.com. I'm logged into DC199, and in a conditional forwarder, I'm adding the under the name, I'm listing the domain name of the other domain in the other forest. Then I'm entering IP address of the domain controller. I'm going to do that on both sides. If everything is fine, you should be able to resolve from each server. You should be able to resolve the other domain controller by name. It's actually a simple process. Right now, this is the other side, otherdomain.com. So you just type in nesium.com and the IP of my domain controller, which is 1.199. You can type in more than one if you have more than one domain controller. This is especially helpful with mergers. When you acquiring another company and resources from both sides should be visible, accessible to both sides. In the next video, I'm going to discuss one-way trust relationship and with selective authentication, but I don't want to jump too far. Okay, first, flash DNS. Always do that to refresh it, and both conditional forwarders are set up. Let's switch back to my first domain, which is nesium.com, and let's see if I'm able to access otherdomain.com. So until you set up the trust, nothing really changes for you. You were not able to access it before. You're not going to be able to access it right now. But now, because both domains can see each other, both forests can see each other, you can set up a trust. Two-way trust is set up from, it could be, if you know credentials of the other domain, you can set them up from one side, from one domain. This is an interview question. Okay, we have two options. We have external trust, or we have forest trust. You want to set up a forest trust, which means it's between forest, and all domains in each forest can automatically be included in this trust. I want to be able to set it up on both sides. I already mentioned that. I happen to know the credentials of my other domain. So just type in the domain name, /, whichever the admin user is. You have two options. You have forest-wide authentication, which means pretty much any user from any domain can access any resources, versus selective authentication, when you have to, it's very granular. Granular in a way that you can specify which user can access which resource in which domain. So for now, I'm actually setting up forest-wide authentication, which means any user from any domain can access any resource. Well, of course, unless permissions are explicitly set up to deny access. Okay, so this is a confirmation. I already have a two-way trust relationship. Two-way means both domains trust each other. In trust relationship, follow the trust. So incoming trust meaning you are trusted. Outgoing trust meaning you are trusting the other domain. We're going to get to it next time. So let's confirm I am in my remote domain. My Nesium.com is my domain closer to me, and other domain is, I'm going to call it remote domain. Let's confirm the trust. So the trust I set up on Nesium.com, it's automatically set up on both ends because I knew the credentials. Okay. Let's see if I'm able to access Nesium.com from otherdomain.com. I can. And if trust was not set up, I will get a pop-up asking for credentials. That's the first sign that tells you something's wrong. All right, so let's just log off and let's test it from the client. So let's imagine the situation that I'm sending. Okay, I'm logging into Nesium.com. Let's see if we can log in using credentials from otherdomain.com. If the trust relationship is set up correctly, I should be able to log in as any user. So let's try it. So how is this happening? The authentication request is being passed because of the trust relationship between two um, domains. Just to confirm, I'm checking the host name, which is Nesium.com, which is joined to my Nesium.com. I'm using credentials from other domain, and the authenticating server is, what a surprise, is otherdomain.com. It's the domain that actually hosts that user account. So that means my Nesium.com was able to pass my my authentication request to otherdomain.com over the trust, Forest Trust, and then my otherdomain.com domain controller was able to authenticate my request. Let's do it the other way. So I'm in other domain in the client, Windows 10 client joined to otherdomain.com. I will attempt to log in as Nesium user of Nesium.com domain. So it's very simple. Two-way trust relationship. You can log in from either side. One way, now that's the question we're going to discuss next time. It boils down to the question who is trusting, who is trusted, meaning incoming, outgoing trust. And it looks like everything is working fine. That's a pretty short video. It's not a very complicated issue. Same check. Again, Nesium.com was used to authenticate. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Have a good day.